Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel, the Xanadu Chronicles. My name is Frank, and today I'm going to be working on a DIY project with you. But for it to work out, I got to get behind the camera so I can walk through the space and show you what we're going to be doing. Alright, be back in a sec. Hey folks, welcome back. And as you can see, I am looking right into our master closet slash linen closet. And for those of you who have been following our videos and saw our renovation videos, know that we took a small bedroom in our renovation, made it a little bit smaller so that we can add more space to our master bedroom, and turned it into our walk-in closet and linen closet. And it's super convenient. I highly suggest, if you're going to do any kind of renovation job, to do something like this, because it really makes things so much easier, because this closet is attached to our, or connected to our laundry room as well as our master bedroom. And as you can see, we've got some things to put away here. These are CDs that need to be downloaded, and then they will be stored in our shed that Jim is building right now. But today, the star of the show is this bench, which we purchased some time ago on Facebook Marketplace. I think we paid $40 for it. But we got it because it's the perfect size. We have ample clearance around both sides of it to walk around. The fabric, even though it's not my favorite, actually works just fine for now, or had been working fine. The shape of the legs are quite beautiful, simple but really pretty. We have some space to tuck some shoes underneath if we need, like we have there on a tray. And we're going to change a couple things out, like those foot protectors, horrible. This silver finish, not so great. The fabric, obviously a little old, but not horrible, but it's going to be changed out. So we're going to be painting the base and reupholstering the top with fabric that I purchased at various places. I have 4 top contenders I'm going to show you here in a minute, but I got, I think at Goodwill and estate sales and thrift stores. I highly recommend you guys do it that way, because you can find some amazing fabric at some amazing prices. So I'm going to stop the video here, and then I'll pull out the fabric for you to take a look at, and then we're going to get the project started. Alrighty? See you in a sec. Hello everyone, and welcome back. I'm in the room behind the bench. I pulled down my bin of fabric. Now, as I've told you in prior videos, I've got quite a stash. I don't want to call myself a hoarder, but I'm a hoarder. So I've already kind of gone through all the fabrics and come up with my top 4 choices that I'm going to show you. And then at the end, we'll reveal which one we chose, ultimately. So here's the first one. It's a beautiful, thick cabana stripe. It's a cotton fabric. Now, before I upholster this bench, I want to let you know that I've washed all the fabrics and dried them so that they are all pre-shrunk, so that after we upholster it, there's no chance of, hopefully, it warping anymore or distorting. So pre-washed and everything. I'll iron them out before I use them. But here's the first one, wide cabana stripe. They all have a pattern to them because, again, we're in Florida. I want the colors bright. I want a lot of fabric and I'm sorry, not fabric, but a lot of pattern in the home, because we are going for a British colonial aesthetic, and that just means the more fabric or the more pattern, the better. So the first one. Second choice is kind of, it almost looks like a picnic blanket or tablecloth. It's a very summery color palette, yellow, green, and white. And it's kind of a plaid pattern, and I can lay this any way. The striped one I would lay lengthwise to kind of accentuate, but this I can lay any way. That's the beauty of this pattern here. Next one is a green checker. It's like a very nubby, or it's a nubbier cotton fabric. Got some nice texture to it. I don't know if you can see it, but I will show you a close-up of each of these fabrics in the corner here somewhere, so that you can kind of get a better look at them. And the final one is a all-over floral pattern, very abstract, very impressionist, which I absolutely love. I think any of these would work. And so I'm not going to tell you which one we finally chose, but I will reveal that to you at the end. And we are going to be painting the base crisp white. So it's going to be a nice complement to whichever fabric we choose. So next I'm going to show you Jim actually spray painting this base a little bit, and then we'll be doing the upholstery on the top. Okay folks, so I am back. I am heading out to the shed, and as you may have known or seen in our prior videos, Jim has been working on this amazing structure for me. because I'm going to be using it to store a majority of my future Etsy goods. Here's the door. Obviously there's some things to be done. Oops, I can't, I've got to put the handle on. But as you can see here as I walk in, sorry the light's kind of bright there outside, but as you can see, Jim has already done a lot on the inside here. He's almost done, but he has started priming and painting. He put on the walls not only insulation, but we had these boards that were used to protect our floors during our renovation. And so he used those up so there's no waste to line our walls here. He put in a fan, and as you can see, the electrical's working. He's got some lights going on in here, patching and painting. And as we learned from our last shed project in our home in Seattle, the more you get done prior to putting any shelving in or whatever, the better, because you do not want to have to go back and redo all that work once you've got everything in the room. So as you can see, Jim is working on breaking down, or breaking down, I'm sorry, taking apart the bench. Breaking down is so harsh. But we've got here some Chewy boxes. As you know, we have 3 dogs, so we get a lot of shipments. And Jim likes to use those, even though we've got drop cloths, he likes to use those as protection when he paints, protection for the floor, instead of just tossing them out. But we'll also be using them in our future, like I said, for our future Etsy store when we ship things out. So just a couple screws here. He's taking the bench apart, and then he will start to paint the base there, and we'll reupholster the top, and then we'll come back once he started doing some of that work and take a quick look. But that is it for now, so we'll be right back. Okay folks, as you can see, I am back in the shed. Jim has laid down the cardboard that he's broken up to create the painting area. He's got the frame separated from the top, as you saw earlier, the bench part, and he's got it elevated on some wood blocks. And now he's getting ready.
You can't be in here, sorry.
Oops. Oh, we had a little guest visitor trying to come in while we were doing the taping, so. Alright, so he's going to get started. I'm going to show him starting it off, and then we'll stop, and I'll come back when he's all done. Alrighty, hun, get going. He's got his mask on, he's got some gloves on. Now he's reading the instructions, doing what you're supposed to do. And
I've never used one of these type cans before.
So he's not used one of these cans before, so he's now trying to figure it out. Oh, there we go. Simple as that. He's got both doors open, so we got good ventilation. And he's spraying in the shed, and you're probably going, why are you spraying in the shed? Well, because it's white paint, and we're only in the priming stage, and it's not going to make a big difference. And it helps to protect it, keep it out of the sun. So as you can see, he's going...
It's windy outside.
Yeah, it's a little windy outside, so he's going over the intricate parts first with sweeping, overlapping moves. Trying not to get too close. He knows what he's doing. And already it's looking great. You can't tell really too much because it's up against the lighter drop cloth there, but now you can see it a little bit better. Alright, so I'm going to leave him to it before I get high on this paint. Or too high, because I'm already feeling it. And we'll be back when he's done. Alrighty, folks. Look what I ran into as I was leaving the shed. One of my sunbathing beauties, Ginger Snap. Oh, and here comes Figgy. Figgy, you can't go in there, Mama. Can't go in there. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, folks, as you can see, I'm back. And my husband has done a beautiful job painting the piece. So we're letting it dry right now, and then we'll continue on. Hey everyone, so I am back. I'm here in my library with the bench top that Jim disconnected earlier, as you saw. I've got my fabric on the floor, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bench top on the fabric, do a preliminary measurement to make sure I've got enough clearance and material to work with as I upholster it. I will cut it out, iron it, and then I will be back to staple it on so you can see what I do. So as you can tell, or may see now, I chose the abstract floral. So it's going to be fantastic, and I cannot wait for the project to be completed. So I will be right back. So a quick little snippet, I've just ironed the whole thing, and now I am going along the edges where you saw me rip, because as you saw in that video, the fabric unravels quite easily because it's woven, and so I am ironing over the edges of those portions so that those will go underneath, and when I staple, there'll be less of a chance of it unraveling and messing up in the future. So just a little pre-work, and again, you take the time to do these things, and you're going to save yourself a lot of misery and pain later on, because you won't have a bench cover that will come apart on you. So I'll be right back, and we're going to show you how to upholster a top. Okay folks, so I have finished ironing, as you saw in that little clip. I have my edges ironed over beautifully, so I've got a nice crisp edge. So now I'm going to get to upholstering here. So I've got it back on the floor in the library here. I'm going to get my bench cover, and I'm going to try to do my best to center it back up the way it was. Kind of eyeball. Again, that's the good thing about the abstract pattern, is that it gives me some fudge room, some wiggle room, in case it's not exactly super perfect. Try to get it as perfect as possible, but you can never be too sure. So I'm just checking to see here. That's not too bad. I'm just looking at the overall, and again, this is I'm looking at the overall evenness of it. And again, this is the edge that I ironed over, and this is the finished edge already that you'll find on every bolt of fabric. There's always going to be a finished edge side, so that looks pretty good. Again, trying to get it as even as possible, so that when I begin stapling, we have as nice of a finish as possible. Okay, so I have here actually it's a carpet staple gun. We used it when we were helping a friend of ours put carpeting on her stairs, and you want to use something like this because, of course, the right tools do the job correctly, right? So this actually is probably a little bit more firepower than we need for something like this. You could use a regular staple gun, but I highly suggest something like a pneumatic or plug-in electric one, because you get more force, and it really gets the staples in there. But I'm going to, safety first, put on my glasses. Whew, that's kind of weird. I have a piece of wood that I want to test to see, because this whole thing is wood back here. So I want to test to see, because we got some new staples, just to see what it feels like. Because I haven't used it. Jim's used this, and again, it's well, damn. That went in. That ain't going nowhere. That wood's staying put. All right. So, as you've seen a million times in other videos, you want to work back and forth as you're upholstering. So, I'm going to do a couple staples here to get things started off, and then I'm going to stop the camera, get the corners prepared, and we'll do some more work and finish it up for you and put it together so that you can see the final product. So again, I'm going to start on the side that I ironed over, okay, and I'm going to go towards the edge here. I'm trying to go like center of the, there you go. Now on this side, you want to pull. This has some give. And as you can see, it pulls quite a bit. So, there we go. Now I'm going to do this so I don't bore you. I'm going to do this along the whole way, and then when we come to the corners, I'll show you how to take care of that, okay? So I'll be right back. Hey folks, so I am back. I've done 2 of the corners and I'm finishing up the last 2, but I wanted to show you how I did it, okay? So as I work down the long edges, I try to get it as even as possible, but I pulled it taut, stapled one side, pulled the other side taut, stapled it down, came all the way down to the very, very end of my bench. So now I've got my fabric here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up, kind of like you're doing when you're wrapping a gift. I'm going to bring this at a diagonal. And you see how there's a point down here? I'm pulling it so I'm getting some tightness there and making it nice and clean. And then I'm going to, towards the bottom here, put a couple good staples in there to hold it in place. Because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, as you can see on this side already, I've cut some of the excess off, so that's why you're not seeing it on that side. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull this fabric up, and as I pull it up, the goal is to, and I'll show you on this side here real quick. The goal is to get this fabric to kind of line up nicely here on that corner like that. So you got a nice little, just a simple little seam there, and then I'll be tacking it up. But, so what I'm doing, like I said, is I pull this fabric up, and I'm going to finagle it on both sides so that I get it nice and tight. And then basically, I'm just going to cut off this excess, and I'm going to staple across. So again, just so I can show you, because I'm going to turn the camera off while I'm doing this, I've got this pulled up at a diagonal. I attached it at near the edge here, and I'm just going to pull my fabric up, and as I'm pulling it up I can maneuver it so that I've got a nice line up on the edge here. Nice line up on the edge. And then I'm just going to staple it all down. So let me get that done. And I'll cut the excess off before I staple it down too. But let me get this done and then we'll attach it to the bench and we'll be finished. So I can't wait. Be back in a sec. Okay folks, this is it, moment of truth. I'm going to screw this in and we're going to flip it over and you'll see the final product. So fingers crossed, nothing goes wrong. I'm going to do the middle ones first because that way I don't have to worry about it shifting on me. If I were to do the ends, there's that possibility, right? So I'm going to do diagonal from each other and then I can screw the rest of it in with confidence. Do the first two slow, so I don't mess it up. Alrighty, the rest should be a breeze here, so give me 1 second. And you will see a beautiful bench. Two more! Ah, I'm so excited! And as you can see, the white finish is beautiful and crisp. We've got the new caps on the feet, which looks so much better than what was there before. And Voila. We've got ourselves a bench. So Jim's gonna step into the picture here. Help me flip it over. Take a look. Oh, sweet. Ah. Come on now. Come on now. What do you think, guys? Beautiful, right? I cannot wait to put it in the room and get that rest of that space finished up. Take these little strings off. But otherwise, I think we've got ourselves a brand new bench. Oh, and a visitor here, my fake stone, saying that, what did you say? She thinks it's awesome as well. Okay, well that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya. If you haven't seen our previous videos, click on the links and watch away. Please share, like, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel. We'll do our best to keep you entertained and coming back for more. Bye for now.